What did Steve Jobs say about simplicity? I actually have it also here on my desk. I have little post-its all over my desk. He said,
Simplicity.
simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate. What does that mean?
Talk long, talk wrong.
Explain.
If you're wordy, then the listener becomes less involved and less interested in what you have to say.
Well, I'm the wordiest guy you'll ever meet. I never shut the f. I never shut up.
Okay, so
but how about if we apply that? Do you think we have too much technology, too many virtual assistants, too many applications? Do you think we have too much complication in our business and we need to simplify it, just like a bar napkin? By the way, I use bar napkins when I get a quick idea. I'm in the car, I need something to write on. I have many different versions. You guys don't want to see them, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Here is the Caucasian version. Okay, the plain white one. Here is the Whole Foods version. Here is the Chipotle version. Okay, you do get a disease when you use this napkin, by the way. Well, you guys had a tough weekend.
Just waking up.
Just waking up. Anyway, sometimes I think we overcomplicate things. I think we need to make them simple. There was this morning. Anybody here besides me reads the New York Times in the morning?
I read their headlines sometimes.
Okay.
I get the headlines.
There was a very interesting article this morning on the New York Times. It was, if I could find it here. Let me find it. I can't find it. Things are never when you want them. Basically, it was an article by Carl Richards in the New York Times, and he said, how much of our success has to do with luck? Now, before I spout off on this, I'll throw it to you guys. How much of your success has to do with luck?
Not much.
What do you mean?
Go ahead, Audrey.
I don't really believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck, and you can call it luck because you feel lucky, but you caused it in the biggest way.
Who else? David.
You know, Oprah Winfrey said luck is opportunity meeting preparation. So did a million other people.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what luck is.
What else? You don't think some people are luckier than others? Maybe Bill Gates or certain the guy who owns Facebook, who was in college, who met some people who were doing the social network thing on the Harvard campus. You don't think there's some luck involved in stuff? Dyer, you found a whole bunch of $500 backpacks for $50 each. Was that luck?
Not at all. That was definitely hard work.
Really?
Yes. Preparation, hard work, going in, doing exactly what I needed to do. I mean, keep plugging.
Yeah, look at all those boxes behind you, Dyer, man. Good work.
Thanks, buddy.
Dyer has 50 cases.
This is all product.
Yeah. Show him your corn oil. Was it corn oil?
It's all gone. I got a few of them left here. It's my Cairo syrup that I haven't quite sent out yet. But I shipped out not quite 200 bottles of Cairo syrup last week. What else we got in there? I got all kinds of toys in there. Got a lot of socks. Socks went on sale. I'm going to tell you something. Give me some of those socks up here. Right now, wool socks, you can go to Dick's and buy wool socks, buy one, get one free for $6.50 and sell them all day long for $20 a pop.
But that's...
And I mean, they're absolutely flying off the shelf. They're just little... They're called cabin socks. This is a pair that I had to keep and wear because my feet got cold the other day. But anyway.
But isn't that luck that you found these great products that sell so well on Amazon and eBay and all that?
I would say that's the preparation part, meeting opportunity, definitely. You know, being prepared constantly to find it. I don't personally believe in the word luck. It's like a lucky punch. He meant to throw the punch and he connected and he won. You know, that isn't luck. He meant to do it. So
someone went to me when I was speaking in Vegas on the side. You are the luckiest guy. You live in Colorado. You live in California. You're doing what you are so lucky, Claude. How should I respond to that guy? Or how do you think I responded? Let me ask it that way.
But thank you.
I'm sorry?
You said thank you.
There you go. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, that's it. Gratitude is always good, showing humility. That's good. Okay. James Hastings says, is there a video I should be seeing? Yeah, you should be watching all of us on there right now. So, James, I don't know what to tell you. We're all on video. You can see me. You can see lovely Mr. Lips and Mr. Shaw. They're looking very well. James, I can see you very clearly. Can you hear me? James. Okay, James, you got to fix your Wi-Fi or your equipment or something, because we can see you. You're part of the group. Yes, we are, but you can't hear us.
I can hear you guys, but I can't see.
I don't. You know, I'm. What is that? I'm lost.
There it
But
goes. Is that maybe a Wi-Fi connection?
Yes, sir.
I can't see an image.
It's something technological. I'll throw you to Chris Manos, our technological AVI monitor. Okay. Chris, could you help him after the call? Could you guys hook up after the call, and maybe he can help you with the setup or something like that? It might be your equipment. You're not using an Android or a Dell computer, are you?
No, it's a regular PC.
Okay. Well, we can see you. You're live, man. So don't pick your nose or scratch any inappropriate place. Okay.
All right.
As far as that goes. So there's a so. What I said to that guy is, I said, maybe I am lucky, but I work 8 days a week. I work New Year's Eve. I work New Year's Day. I work Sundays. I work 8 days a week. Is that luck, or is that maybe because I like what I'm doing and I work as hard at it? I'm not stroking myself here, but I'm just stating facts. When you work as hard at something you're passionate about, is it just stand to reason that if you have the skill set, if you have the talent, together with the perspiration that Audrey was talking about and Randy, is it inevitable that you will succeed?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes.
No
Yes,
monosyllabic answers here. This is a group call. I got to stretch it out a little. You know what I mean?
Probable that you will succeed.
Highly likely. Why?
Because you're constantly taking actions. Things don't move unless you can consistently take actions. No matter what the actions are, obviously you can get more effective with the actions and learn from your actions if things aren't ineffective. But you're always, if you're not taking action, you're definitely not going to be probable to be successful. But if you're always taking actions continuously, there's something's going to happen.
What if you're taking action, but you don't have the talent for the business that you're working at? Ooh. Give me an ooh, everybody. Ooh. That was a...
I think that's when you look at your... It comes down to tracking. Okay, if we're talking about calls, if I'm making 20 calls, I'm getting nothing. That's when you need to go look at what you're saying and look at how to be more effective.
Okay. What if you don't... But the talent part. What if you don't have the talent? Even though you're working hard, you're tracking, you've got all these spreadsheets, you've got all the whiz-bang applications, you've got 15 lovely ladies from the Philippines and Pakistan qualifying and filtering your calls. What happens? Are you going to get me a beer or what? That is the first refrigerated door that's ever been opened on the VIP group call. A round of applause. This was a big moment in our history, guys.
It was first.
Okay. If he grabbed a beer, I would have said, that's my kind of guy.
9 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
I went until about 5 o'clock on that one.
It's Florida, though. It could have been a prune juice drink or something, though.
Yeah, no, it's just plain water.
Does chia come in prune juice in Florida?
I don't think so.
So what's my point here? How important is the talent, the hard work, the consistency towards your success? Is it luck, or are these the things that you have to put into motion to get where you want to be financially?
I think it's hard work and persistence, but I think love does play some part.
What if you have
But persistence pays.
persistent pace? What if you have persistence and organization and you suck at sales?
You can learn
You're
sales
not gonna-
skill.
What?
But sales is a skill. You can learn it.
Oh, that's a good point. Can you learn sales?
Yep.
Yes.
It can be taught. Go to Claude.
Claude, truth be told, I'm on sodium pentothal and 2 Grey Goose martinis right now, was the world's worst salesman. Man, if I had an excuse to go home and skip a presentation and not encounter somebody, I mean, I'm a hand on the Bible, guys. If I was selling it for a corporate account in New York City, and these guys eat raw meat for breakfast, okay? What do you call that raw meat that people used to eat a lot? Steak tartare. Okay, did you ever have that? It's pretty good, but you can't eat it anymore because it's not too healthy, from what I understand. I used to turn my car around if it was raining or I couldn't find a parking space. Why? Why did Mr. Mentor chicken shit out all the time at one time?
Fear of failure.
Good. What else? Fear of failure. Is that a biggie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fear of failure. What else?
Fear of success.
You know, I've never been fearful of success, but I've met people who were. What does that mean, fear of success? I don't even understand that.
I think that's where, if you succeed, you don't know what to do next. If you have a success, you don't know what to do next, and that gives you anxiety.
To me, fear of success means to me I'm going to the bank. I like going to the bank. I'm 2 feet above the ground when I go to the bank. I like that. When I do a deal and I got that check in my hand and I say, Claudia, we're going to the French restaurant tonight. You know, we're going to a nice place tonight, you know, because we had a good day. I want to celebrate. That to me, I love that. That's what it's all about. So I don't understand that part. I do recognize that there are people who do fear success. I just think they're the super small minority. What's another reason why people stink at sales? What's the fear? What fears do people have in sales?
Rejection.
What do you mean?
Rejection.
What's rejection?
People saying no to them.
Well, people say no to me all the time, though. I don't take it personally or emotionally really that much anymore.
You take it personally. If they
But
reject
a lot do.
me.
Do you think, why do we take it personally? And if we take it personally, does that depress us? It used to depress me when people said no, or people when they talk down to you. They're talking to you like a parent, critically talking to a child sometimes. Why do we get depressed when we're as adults and people talk down to us or reject us? What goes on emotionally?
We start to feel like a child again.
Ooh.
And our parents are scolding us.
Yeah. What's that feeling like? Is it depression? What do we feel like? What EQ is going on? Chris, jump in here. I know you're dying to say something.
Yeah, I think like rejection over time. You know, I think 1 no, 2 no, but if you're continuously getting, you know, said no, I think like what David said, it starts to eat at you a little bit. Like, oh man, like this isn't working, and you're like, why am I feel like I'm wasting my time. It starts to feel like you're wasting your time, and then that's the rejection. Then you stop taking actions because you're perceiving it as a waste of time. Then you just fall off the horse.
Who else?
You know what? A lot of it, I think, is not being able to see the forest from the trees. You get caught up with your individual rejections or one thing, and oh my God! But instead of and you focus on what's immediately in front of you instead of okay, well, wait a second. The more actions I take, the better it's going to be. The more comfortable I'm going to get at this. Instead of you focus on the immediate call or the immediate cold sweats about talking to someone.
Does anyone here get depressed, acutely depressed when you hear too much rejection?
Yeah, it gets to you.
Clinically depressed.
No.
What do we do when we're depressed? When we get too much rejection,
You withdraw.
do we make that? What's my rule of 5? Somebody tell me my rule of 5. Let me see if my coaching is working with you guys. Somebody give me a rule of 5. I'll give you a no prize.
Speak to 5 people a day.
Right. What else? That's 1.
Send 5 contracts out a day.
I like that. 5 offers. Good. What else?
Make 5 social media contacts.
I love it. Thank you. 3.
5 phone calls a day.
We did that
We already
already.
said that.
5 voicemails a day, right? That's what you
5
meant.
voicemails.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I
beautiful. Is there one more? I think there's one more. Offers, voicemails, social media,
Text. 5 texts a day.
text. I'll take text. 5 contacts, 5 texts, 5 offers. Do 5 things a day. Now, here's the question. Can you do 5 simple phone calls to 5 nice people a day if that's your attitude? If you are suffering from all that rejection, depression, and stuff. Can you do that, honestly?
You can do phone calls, but you can certainly do text.
Well, you will, but here's the thing. Don't
But
you
it's
have
the energy. I agree, Claude. It's the energy, right, to do it when in the face of rejection all the time. Yeah.
Let's be honest here, though. Won't you do? When I was, like I said, when I was anticipating more rejection and people talking down to me, I would go back home and watch Game of Thrones. No, it wasn't on then. God, whatever. Gilligan's Island. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm going to show my age now.
Hollywood Square, Claude.
Okay, so we can't, let's be honest. If we're depressed because of rejection, we really can't run our business. We will scrub a toilet rather than pick up the phone and make 5 phone calls to strangers who we anticipate are going to be nasty to us. True or false?
True.
Absolutely true. So how do we fix it?
How did you fix it, Claude?
Great question. Thank you for asking.
It's in your head,
Who said that?
Mariska.
Marishka's here. Yay. Marishka, come on. In your head. What does that mean, in your head? That's psychobabble stuff, isn't it?
It is psychobabble, but there's a lot of truth to that psychobabble stuff. And when you were learning to ride a bicycle, and you're riding along the sidewalk.
Did I have a little horn on it with the, what did you call those little plastic streamers?
Tassel there? Yeah. And so you're riding your bicycle along the sidewalk, and you go, oh my gosh, I hope I don't run into the tree. I hope I don't run into the tree. I hope I don't run into the tree. And you fixate on that tree, you are going to run into that stupid tree. So what you have to do on your bicycle is look straight ahead and see the open road ahead of you, and just know that you're just going to be able to keep riding. It's the same thing with phone calls. People are who we think they are. And if they're a jerk, then get rid of them, because you don't have to deal with jerky people.
You are so close to the answer I want to give. You are this close. Who wants to jump in and comment on what Mariska said? What is the solution when you have all this fear from rejection and depression? We're being totally honest today. Sodium pentothal and martini day. Here.
The one thing you fear, the one thing you're afraid to face is the one thing you face.
Say that again.
Turn it around.
That was deep. Say that again.
The thing you fear the most is the thing you should face. And
Why?
then you will overcome.
Why? It's dangerous. You're going to get more rejection. You're going to feel worse. Why?
No, you're not. It's going to help you overcome it.
No risk, no reward.
Okay, somebody, you guys are this close. Based on some of the things I've spoken about in the past, dealing with PAC, parent, adult, child. Someone put it together for me. What's the one thing inside of us that is all emotion, very little logic, and doesn't react always in the most appropriate way?
You move through your fear.
Okay, but which one? Specifically.
Like a child.
Would be the child would be the adult.
Who said the child?
Randy.
Explain. What do you mean the child? What's that? We have a child inside us?
As everybody should know by now, with transactional analysis, you have 3 frames. You have the adult, the parent, the child. If you're operating out of the child, everybody has power over you because you're the child. You have to move into acting as the adult.
How do we, this is so close, guys. Someone bring it home for me. What do we have to do with that child that's inside that says, oh, God, I'm scared. I'm going to get hurt. They won't like me. They're going to reject. What do we have to do based on what Mariska said, what Audrey said about the head game here? This is good shit, guys.
Slap the child.
Embrace the child.
Oh, Child Protective Services is coming right now to your house, dude. Steve, you got to switch the decaf, brother. That was great.
I think you got to really generate yourself. I think you said this to me a bunch of times, Claude. You got to really bring yourself and bring I'm the $1 million man on the call. I'm the professional. I'm the doctor, and really create that for yourself and generate that before you get on the calls. You got to put yourself into that mindset.
Oh, you're sliding into home, baby. You're bringing it all here. Come on, take me a little. What role is that called?
The doctor.
The adult.
Yeah.
The adult is the mature, logical person and says, I am making a decision based on what I've determined. The parent gives permission to the child, and the adult actually takes the action. It makes the makes the decision about it. But what do we got to do with that child? We're in our car. We're ready to go to make a presentation or do a deal on that house. These people maybe weren't very nice to us on the phone. They've had 10,000 students from 20,000 gurus come to their house or make phone calls, and now you're coming there, and you got that little bit of anxiety thing going on. What do you do with that child?
You put the child in a car seat, you put the seatbelt on, and you put a pacifier in their mouth.
And close the windows and shut off the air conditioner, right, Steve?
No.
They're coming to my house.
You give them their favorite blankie. You just give them their pacifier, their favorite blankie. You just let them be quiet and comfy for a while the adult goes and takes care of business.
Okay, I'm going to edit the hell out of this video. I'm telling you right now. Mariska, you're so seriously, let's take this now. These are great metaphors and stories. But you're in your car, you're going to a situation where there's a little bit of anxiety, the people weren't too nice, there's going to be a little bit of possible confrontation, and you got this little fear thing going inside of you. What do you talk to you? What do you say to yourself to remove that child, put him in the desk drawer, and take him away so that you're a pure adult here? What do you do? What do you say? Someone give me what it sounds like.
What I would say to myself is I would recognize the fact that the child is showing anxiety and that I'm feeling that anxiety. And then what I would do is New Age, I guess, LA stuff. I would embrace the child.
LA stuff? Wait a second. We have a lot of Southern California people here right now. LA stuff?
I'm not saying anything negative about that. It's just that.
No, who could interpret that as negative?
That's the center of where new thought comes from. Or
again, we go back to slapping the child.
Steve, man, we got
issues.
Steve, therapy is the answer, brother.
Teach your children.
Beat that child down.
Yeah.
Well, the child, seriously, we have those fear things inside us. We all have fear before we go off a diving board, before we have a possible sales confrontation, before we pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going to call these prospects today, and some of them may not like me. That little fear starts creeping up. Then you get somebody on the phone. Well, what do you want? Why should I work with you? You're the 10th person to call me. And we get this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but if I don't have a lock on that child, on the EQ, the emotion that says, Claude, they're not going to like you. It's not going to be. You've got to go up to the adult and say, what do you say to yourself? I'm a good person. I'm an honest person. They have a problem. I am their doctor. I have a solution to this problem. If they don't like me, if they're rude to me, that's their bad. I am not going to react to their bad behavior. I am not going to diminish myself. I am going to be the adult in the room. You can applaud this. I'm begging for it.
What was your question?
No, there was no question. I said I was begging for applause. Thank you, dear. My wife applauded me. Shame on you people. Thank you, sweetie. 30 years of marriage, at least you get applause once in a while. At the most appropriate times, by the way. Mariska, you're laughing a little too hard at that joke. Okay, I'll stop psychobabbling and let's get to real estate. I think this was good, though. Did you guys like this kind of topic and discussion?
Sure, yeah.
Somebody say you can say no. You can say no. It's okay to say no because okay, then that's all right. Why do you now? The child is gone. I'm the adult. David, I appreciate your honest response. Why do you think this was not an appropriate topic?
Well, I don't think it was inappropriate. It's just that it was lengthy.
It was like,
and I'm not sure. I'm not. I'm just sharing. I don't know what I could walk away that would help me in my sales life, my everyday life, my personal with my personal friends. How this would be beneficial. I mean,
it's a good point. It's really not designed to be appropriate for your personal friends. This is for business. My intent. Thank you for your honest criticism. Your content. See, there's no child here. It's just an adult here with a little nurturing from the parent. I'm still psychobabbling. I'm sorry, but my hope is that seriously, I want you guys to succeed. And I asked myself before this meeting, why is it that they're not going to go to the bank today, this week? And I say to myself, maybe they're not speaking to enough prospects. So I'm hoping that if I give you the problem and the issues and the solution as I see it, that you will incorporate this right after this call, and you will make phone calls because you'll say, hey, Claude said I'm an adult and I'm a good person. I'm a hardworking person with sufficient knowledge to do real estate deals, and I have nothing to fear by picking up a phone talking to a stranger. That's my hope.
Okay.
God, am I wordy today?
Three things I think of before I get on the phone. This is Randy. There's three things I think of before I get on the phone. Number one, these people don't know me. Number two, they can't come through the phone and get me. And number three, they can't eat me anyway.
Yeah.
So I can get on the phone, talk to them, and try to have fun with it.
Having fun is one of the best. That's where you take the adult and a little bit of the child, the fun part. You guys saw my diaper video that I do with Christina a week ago. I had fun. Even when the guy hung up on me, I laughed. I thought it was funny when I said, I'll even come over and change the diaper. Click. Christina and I are both laughing like crazy. That's where you have the adult, and the adult is secure enough to also go into the child a little bit. David, I will take your advice. I will stop psychobabbling. Let's get to real estate here. Who's got it?
You know what? Before we do that,
everybody got so close. What was the point?
Hold on.
Before we do that, I want to take up what Randy just said, if I may, for just a second, because I think that's really good. And one of the things that I've tried to do for myself, and that I have told students to do as well, we're also afraid of that fear, and we tend to make the fear and what might happen bigger than it really is. And I love what Randy said. I think one of the things that's important to do is just say, okay, really, what is the worst thing that could happen? What is the worst thing these people could do to me? Okay, in the greater scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. You have a phone, you can hang it up. You have the power. And sometimes we just give our power away to these other people who they don't know that we can help solve their problem. If we can't solve their problem, we don't want to waste their time or anything like that. We'll move on. But, if you really acknowledge, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, they might be a little rude. Okay, well, then have fun with that. One of my favorite things to do is, and it's kind of, it sounds smart alecky, but when somebody says, gives me some question, and I'll just say, yeah, I don't know.
Well said.
And I just shut up. And, Claude, you taught me that. And sometimes people get a little hot under the collar about that. And I was just like, you know what? I don't have enough information to give you the answer that, what I meant was, you need to give me more information, and then we can have a discussion. So anyway, I just like what Randy said. Yeah. I think you really need to address the fear and figure out, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen?
I truly believe, thank you for that. I truly believe that success is, we were just talking about luck earlier. Is it luck, or is it hard work and the proclivity, or the knowledge, the talent, and all these things together? And if we have too much fear and we don't even make the phone calls, then we're doomed to fail. Okay, all I do, you guys, I'm not that smart. All I do is talk to people all day long. Some are fun phone calls. Some are not so much fun, but I don't take them personally. And sooner or later, if I'm consistent in my behavior and marketing, someone says the magic word, which is?
Yes.
And I go, and I keep this young lady behind me very, very happy. You want to have a successful marriage for 30 years or more? Make a shitload of money, people. That makes me. You're not superficial, but if you're not seriously, I love this woman. She's my girlfriend from high school, and you know what, when
I'll bring a picture.
there you go, and I'll tell you right now, when you remove the financial stress from a relationship, do you think it's easier?
Yes.
You better believe it, because you know what's the number one cause of divorce? Marriage. No. No, it's usually some kind of stress financially.
It's usually financial stress.
It really is. It's like, oh, you bought that, you didn't have to buy that, and we have this bill here and everything. And do you think that helps a relationship?
Yeah.
No.
Which is not to say that money buys happiness, but if you have your basic needs met and you're not stressed about money every month, then you can enjoy each other and enjoy life and everything that it has to offer.
Johnny Carson used to say, money can't buy love, but it sure can rent it.
Hey, Claude, I have a specific question for you.
Okay, good. New topic.
Yeah, on your video you did with Joe McCall, and you did that sort of cold call, which was actually pretty cool, that you called up a guy who didn't know his name or anything about the property.
Did it with Christina a week ago, one of those. I want to do a lot more.
Yeah, and it was actually a good learning experience. But the one thing you said, and this is my question to the group, is that, or at least to you, you said, hey, if I could rent your house for a year and then buy it, would you be interested in? And I thought, wow, to do that on a lease option, I thought you needed at least a few years on that to get a house on a contract. Just a 1 year doesn't sound enough. So am I missing something, or maybe there's something I need to learn?
It's called opening the door, getting to a negotiation. Hey, Mr. Shaw, I got your number in front of me. Why am I calling you? I don't know. You called me. We're talking. Okay, I've opened the door. If I do the same, here's your takeaway from today. Scripts don't work. How many times have I said this?
Yeah.
If you say the same old tired bullshit that everybody else is saying, you're gonna be immediately rejected and get depressed, even if you threw away the little child. What do? You put them in the closet, whatever. You've got to open the door for a dialogue. Steve, I only said about 1 year. You wouldn't be comfortable with 2 or 3 years and getting consistent passive income if we did a rent-to-own on your house, would you, instead of 1 year? How do you feel about that, Steve?
Okay, so it's kind of like a bait and switch then.
Well,
No.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's a bait and switch at all.
I'm just saying, because normally I say, hey, I always go like 2 years, at least 2 years, but 1 year is actually, that's not a bad, I don't mean bait and switch in a bad way, but just saying.
Who could take it as a bad way?
Okay. But it's basically just opening the dialogue. You say a year, and then so you go, okay, now that you've said a year, what about, and you just offer it afterwards?
It's part of the relaxed adult-to-adult conversation. Steve, you might have. We set the agenda step. That's the first step in my system. We set an agenda. Steve, I'm glad you're interested in a 1 year rent. Do you mind if I just ask you a few questions and then you ask me, and let's figure out if we can do business today? Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
And if it's not right for you, please, you won't offend me. Let's do what's right for you. Just tell me I'm fired, okay?
Okay, you got it.
You got it, man. Boom. See, I've set up a premise for us. It's like the umpire before a baseball game, or a referee before a boxing match. We're setting up some ground rules, but I'm going to do a guts move in the beginning. Something humorous, something in a question form, something that doesn't sound status quo. You know what? All my competition out there, they do one thing and they all do it very badly. They don't teach sales. We're the only ones who talk about it, guys, because I believe with all my heart and soul, you could know all the strategies. There's so many gurus teaching different strategies. John and Mary here got rich in their pajamas. Yeah. And then they teach you these expensive marketing techniques. We've talked a lot about it at these group calls. But how do you convert? Steve, pay attention. There'll be a test.
No.
How do you convert these people on the phone or in person at the house? The conversion part, where they say the things, they're listening to you, they're paying attention.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, I like this guy. He's a straight guy in an unstraight world, and he's bringing value to the table, and maybe I can trust him.
Okay.
How big is trust in a relationship in business?
Big time.
It's massive.
Huge, yeah.
It's everything. It's the whole world. Mariska talked last week about the one investor her and Larry have been working with who gave them all those houses. Why do you think he did that?
Trusted him.
Mariska,
Just trusted him to act in his best interest.
boom. Thank you, Randy.
Exactly. I mean, and he tells us, he goes, I hope you guys make money on this, but he also knows that we're going to take care of him, and we're going to make sure that, we're not doing anything that's going to put him in a bad way. He had a property once that he was going to just give back to the bank because he had a tenant in there who had just trashed it, and there was just not enough value to even rehab it and fix it up. He was just going to let it go back to the bank. We said, you know what, before you do that, let us see if we can find anything. It's a long shot, but, we found a guy who knew how to rehab, who wanted to own his own house. We made so little off of that. It's not even funny, but I tell you what, we made a lot of goodwill because we got somebody in there who is taking care of the property, who fixed it up, who increased the value, is making the monthly payments, and, it's a good deal all the way around. And, so we put a lot in our karma bank by doing that.
How about referrals from this guy?
Pardon me?
How about referrals? Or somebody says, why should I work? I want referrals, Mariska Pilch. I don't know you. Is there anybody who'll vouch for your veracity?
Well, Claude, how many referrals would you like?
What
would make you comfortable?
Well, I've gone through this before, and I want to make sure I know who I'm working with, and I want at least 2 or 3 people.
Well, Claude, you sound like a very astute businessman, and, good for you for asking for referrals, because I tell you what, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who don't even give that a second consideration. So it shows that you are an intelligent business person and that you want to, make sure that the person you're dealing with is trustworthy. So I commend you for that. So
yeah.
That's called, send you to Hawaii.
That is called stroking and nurturing, baby. And you ended it.
If I provide you, I'd be happy to provide you 2, 3, 5, 10 referrals, whatever it does to make you comfortable. I just want to make sure before I, set that up and take up their time. What other concerns do you have before we move forward?
Okay, I see. That's gut selling. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh no. People, it's this here epiphany, a revelation, aha moment. People do business with people they fill in the blank. Trust in life. It's not so hard. It's not so hard. If I show you a picture that was just retrieved from the Guts archives, everybody promise not to laugh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just setting them up there. This is called a setup. I know they're going to laugh when I show it to them, and this is when I say the opposite, I get the other reaction.
Yeah, but if they laugh, they're laughing at me too, and
no,
they can't do that.
Can't say that. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
That's sweet. Claudia, you're just absolutely beautiful. You don't look a day older now.
I was 17 and he was 18.
My goodness, you were just puppies.
That was my prom, my junior prom in high school.
Oh.
Look like Claude a little.
Well, it does look like Claude. It is Claude.
Listen, the girl is beautiful, but who's that other guy?
You guys aren't going to get this from Than Merrill. I'm sorry. Let's go to deals here. Who's got a deal to pitch, a deal to sell, or brag about a deal? I want to hear a deal here. This is supposed to be also a real estate conversation.
I got 22.
Who's that? Who's that?
That's Chris.
Chris, jump in here, Chris.
I have a partnership with a guy that I met and did a deal with a while ago, and we partnered. He bought 22 deals from the tax auction in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're going to be wholesaling those out. So, and they're all they're good rental deals. You can pick these up between $10,000 to $20,000, some under $10,000, nice. And then they're worth about $30,000 to $40,000, some up to $50,000, and they rent from anywhere from $400 to $600, $700.
So are these in need of when you would sell them, is that after repair value, or is that their present value, or?
I'd be selling them at present value. Some of them need repairs, some more so than others. It would take...
I know a few builders in Memphis, so if you want to send me a message, I'd be happy to connect you.
All right, absolutely. That'd be great. Cool. Yeah, I'll message you after this call.
Okay.
Thanks, Mariska.
Excellent.
Sure.
Who else is going to call Chris here?
In Memphis, about Memphis, Tennessee deal?
Yeah.
Memphis is hot, guys.
Why?
Wow. Yeah.
Why is Memphis hot? Tell us why.
Well,
Rental area.
for one, okay, so in Seattle, for example, and Steve, you can vouch for this. You can buy a house for $350,000 and rent it for $1,200. Woohoo!
Yeah, I know, right? Sucks.
How about the management and all those headaches that come with the property?
I mean, that's if you're renting it yourself, right? So Memphis, you can pick up that same $1,200 rental for, I don't know, 80, 70. So just, kind of do the math there.
Excellent.
And what's awesome about these Memphis properties, we're going to be getting more. We have 22 right now. It was our first batch that we bought. There will be more to come as well in different areas as well. So,
question: Are you going to get on an airplane and fly out there? Or how are you going to put this all together?
Well, my partner's been flying out there. He's out there. So.
Okay.
So, Chris, tax auctions, is there a right of redemption on them, or what's the story with? We bought them. Is it tax lien or the actual?
They're not lien certificates. They're deeds.
The deeds, okay.
Some of them don't have insurance, title insurance, but we can get that if that's necessary. It just takes an extra month in escrow.
Okay, and there's no redemption period. Basically, that's the main thing about Tennessee. Really? You can buy it? And
you buy it, you own it, no redemption period like in other tax sales. Yeah,
I know. They do that in Washington and some states. Washington's 3 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long time, and sometimes people do redeem their property, okay, because it went up in value and they find the money from someone else and they take it back from you. So I kind of like what you just shared with the group there. No redemption, and that's just exclusive to Alabama, right?
Tennessee,
excuse me. Same thing. No.
I like Alabama.
Okay, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Who else has got a deal to sell, to brag about, that they're working on, having issues? We got 25 people in this room. Someone better be working on a deal.
I don't have a deal, but I'll say this. If you guys are not on Snapchat right now, you're missing the boat. This is not it's kind of a big deal, guys. I've been using Snapchat now for the past couple of months for my Amazon stuff and bringing in clients and things like that. But in the past 10 days or so, I've kind of flipped the script a little bit and getting into real estate. And I literally just not even 2 minutes ago, I got a guy that's up in Providence. I've been working a relationship with this guy, but he is sending me for sale by owners, right, so that I can call these folks as he's driving by. So I develop relationships, or am starting to develop relationships with people that are doing home inspections, that are doing foreclosure things, people that are out in neighborhoods all day, every day, and starting to develop a relationship. So when they drive by these things, they shoot me a picture with the house and of the sign, and then I can call them. And it's just another way to generate leads that I otherwise would not be privy to in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Dyer, quick question. Why Snapchat over Instagram story?
Great question. Awesome question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. For me, the biggest thing is I don't use Instagram, and I don't know how to gain reliable followers, right? With Snapchat, I can go out and target specific audiences and specific people to get and use how I want to. So I can go in on a secondary app called Ghost Codes, and I can type in Amazon FBA, and it'll pull up everybody that does Amazon. Or I can type in real estate, and it'll pull up people that do real estate. I can type in home inspections, it'll pull up people that do home inspections. And I'm able to get in there and then interact with those folks on a daily basis. Go ahead.
Does it give you it gives you their phone numbers, so then you can add them on Snapchat?
No, I don't. It gives you their snap code. Are you familiar with Snapchat?
Yeah. So it's called Ghost Codes?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's one reason I haven't used Snapchat, because you can't expand your following unless you have their phone numbers or Snap codes. So that's why I use Instagram, because it's easier to expand your following.
Yeah. I actually, after this, I'm going to be talking with Steve and anybody else really that wants to sit down for 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to go over just a real quick how to do Snapchat, and I mean the most basic of how to do things.
Can you? Yeah. Can you?
Probably take 10 or 15 minutes. What's that?
Yeah. Why don't you use the group here? And can you? And after we go away, if you could maybe spend 5-10 minutes explaining to everybody how you use Snapchat and why that is your media of choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think the big takeaway, and Dyer, thank you for that. I think you said 2 words here that really resonated with me. You said developing relationships. The beauty of all this social media is people can see us. They can look at our pictures, our videos, of the content we write, and they can see that who we are. We're transparent. And they say, hey, maybe this guy is the one I should be working with. And you picked Snapchat. Okay, it doesn't have to be, it's not that Snapchat is the panacea for all things marketing. I love YouTube, and I love YouTube to Facebook. I use those two, I synchronize those two, tremendous, and I get all my leads. And David Lips might want to use Twitter, and Chris Manos might want to use Instagram. I think we have to decide what is our media, what is our content, and because we can't specialize in all things.
You can't be a specialist at everything.
No.
And yeah, I think you pick 2 or 3 that work really well for you, and don't worry about the rest. You know.
What do you use, Mariska? What do you and Larry use?
Yeah, so we use Facebook. We do a lot of YouTube videos actually. We haven't been doing as much lately. Actually, lately what we've been doing is we have some meetup groups, both one that we run and ones that we attend. And so then we're able to get a little more personal interaction with people. I mean, it's so personal when you're doing the social media stuff, but there are those people who want to talk to you face to face. And so, we're able to, just get a lot of credibility being at the front of the room.
So as everybody, meetup.com, this is where you can find different business, real estate, finance, entrepreneur groups. And can you take it to another level? Even though that sounds a little hands-on, old school marketing, which I love, I do a lot of public speaking. When I do public speaking, I ask somebody in the audience to put it on Periscope or Facebook Live. Can we use those old school hands-on things and then interact with some kind of social media or live streaming?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. In fact, thank you for reminding me of that, because I inevitably I leave a meeting and I go, oh man, we should have recorded that. That was great.
Every time I do public speaking, it was very hard for me. Okay, it's somewhere inside of me is a little child says you're going to go in front of an audience and your pants are going to fall around your ankles and you're not going to be wearing clean underwear like mom told you to, or something like that. And Randy, thank you. But the thing is, if I can take that child out, get in front of people, it gets easier. It gets to be fun, actually. Guess how much business it generates for me because I was willing to go in the front of the room.
So, okay, here we go. Blatant self-promotion here. Our meetup group on Tuesday evening, we're going to be, backed by popular demand, we're going to be discussing lease options. So if you guys are at all interested, I will make a point of recording it on, or broadcasting it on Periscope. So I just joined Periscope last week. Mariska Pilch, Marishka Pilch. So follow me.
Put it in the text. Put it in the text area. How you're logged on the Periscope. Everybody in this group should have Periscope.
Hey Mariska, where's the meetup going to be?
It's going to be, if you would go onto meetup.com, Steve, you would find that it's at the Federal Way Library on 320th.
Okay. The Federal Way Library.
Yeah. But somebody in New York, Florida, Texas.
Yeah, that's it. We'll broadcast it. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Audrey, you had a question there. I saw something flash across the screen. What was it? You're very interested in
I'm very interested in lease purchase, and I'm talking about myself now.
What do you mean you're talking about yourself now? Do you want to buy a house or do you want to sell a house?
Yes.
Sell?
Yes,
okay.
buy. Yeah, no, buy.
Oh, you know what? The house we're living in right now, we're lease purchasing. We've never lease purchased our own home, but we decided to try it on this one.
Why would you
We're going
do?
to buy it this
Why
year.
would
but
you?
Anyway.
Why would you do that? There's not an advantage in that, is there?
No, and you know what? It doesn't work anywhere else.
It works
but here.
everywhere except your house, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, there's so a couple of things. One, you can you have a chance to really decide: is this the house for me? Is this the neighborhood for me? Is this the appropriate price? I mean, we're actually going to be negotiating with the builder. We agreed to a certain price, but I'm seeing these other houses going for less. And, I might do a little negotiating with him. I understand his goal, and we might end up having to do something very creative, and he's open to creativity. But, it's a great deal.
How do you protect yourself that the builder, the person who's holding the deed and the financing, that they don't go bankrupt, get divorced, they die, they goes into probate? How are you protected? Gee, I don't know, Claude. Good question. Glad you brought it up.
I mean, I guess on the one hand, I'm thinking, well, right now I'm literally just renting the place. So, I mean, if he goes bankrupt and I had to leave, it's like, well, the worst thing I'm not really going to lose out on anything. I can just, move if I had to. But, there are things that we could do that, quite frankly, we didn't do. But yeah, we could either put it in a trust, file a memorandum of option. Certainly, that's always something you want to do. But if everything went to hell in a handbasket, I mean, I guess we just go, well, we're not on the deed, we're not locked into a mortgage. So I mean, I'd probably just kind of go, well, move on, because I tell you what, the deal of a lifetime comes around about once a week, and I mean, honestly, we have in our mind moved into so many of our lease option properties because we go, wow, this is a great house. We could live here. This is the first time we've ever actually done it. I mean, we've been doing lease options for 5 years. I don't know. But in our minds, we've moved several times a year because we find all these great houses. And, this is the first time we've ever actually, and the only reason we decided to do a lease option is because it was more convenient. We could have just bought it, but we were actually going to be selling our house for sale by owner, and we didn't want to have to deal with, all the mucky muck. And so we just said, okay, let's lease option it. And the builder's fine with that.
Do you think anybody in this group who is still renting or living in mom and dad's attic, who want to get into their first home, do you think this is a good stepping stone process to get into a home today that they can buy in the future?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Our tenant buyers, we've had a few tenant buyers who could have qualified for a mortgage right then. And I used to do mortgages, so I kind of know how to look at somebody's situation and determine, could they buy or not. And then I also refer them to, mortgage brokers that I know just to make sure. But I can kind of look at people and say, yeah, they could buy today. Most of the people that we work with couldn't buy today, but they probably could in 6, 12 months, maybe 24, just depending on their situation. And so it's a great way if somebody's dedicated to fixing whatever their deficiency is. And usually it's that they haven't had enough time on the job. Maybe they have some credit issues that they need to clean up. Maybe they're saving for a larger down payment. Whatever their issue is, it gives them a time to ease into home ownership, to live in the house that they ultimately plan to buy, and then decide, is this really the house that they want to buy? Because you have the option, but not the obligation to purchase. And so, you being, if you're trained in lease option, you're trained in gut sales, you have the tools to create a really good deal for yourself, and determine, if this is the right house. So I absolutely advocate a lease option for anybody who's thinking that they want to buy.
Okay.
I'm absolutely thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it very soon. Now, what if you want to make minor or some changes to the home, which of course would only be improvement?
Yeah, well, again, that is between you and the owner of the property. Mm-hmm. And if you just tell them up front that this is what you're planning to do. Now, I wear two different hats, right? So when I'm the buyer of the property, as I am right now, so we moved into this is a brand new construction home, so there's really nothing on this house that needs to be done. But usually what I tell my tenant buyers is, I'm fine if they want to improve the home, but all improvements stay with the home, and they need to run them by me first. and
So-
give approval. And if they were going to do something major like tear out a kitchen, I'd want to make sure that they have the money to actually rehab the kitchen, because the last thing I want to do is have a house with a gutted kitchen, especially if somebody runs out of money. So I think it's whatever you decide and whatever you're able to arrange with the owner of the property. I mean, if you're, telling them, look, I want to put in new baseboards and new doors and whatever it is you decide you want to do, new paint, most of the time they're going to be like, yeah, that's awesome.
That is it. And you guys, as always, the cumulative wealth of knowledge of this group is always, it's amazing to me. Thank you, all of you, for sharing all
Thank
the time.
you so much, Mariska.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the Mariska fan club here.
Can I connect with you on Skype?
Oh, please do. Please do. Yeah.
As you can
Okay,
see,
great.
the sands of time are slowly running out.
Oh, yes, Claude has his little egg timer out.
My
Okay.
little, well, the little one reproduced, and this
Oh
is
my gosh.
and this is what happens at high altitude.
Supersize.
Supersize it, baby. And I'm going to leave everybody with a little joke that relates to what we were talking about. There was this very devout, very spiritual, very religious man who prayed to God every day. He went to the mountaintops, he went everywhere, and he said, God, I want to win the lottery. I want to have money. I want to be successful. I pray to you every day. I'm devout. I'm a good man, an honest man. I tithe. I do everything I have to do. Why have you forsaken me? And then the clouds come up with lightning, and God appears out of the clouds, and he says, Morris, meet me halfway. Buy a ticket. And with that, this is why I'm not a stand-up comedian. You guys, thanks a lot. This was a really good.
Well taken. You have to take a little effort.
Yeah, exactly. You have to put a little effort into it. You have to be consistent. Take the little child. You can keep the child in you sometimes because it's fun to be silly and goofy once in a while. Don't let the child control fear and all the other things that hold you back. Everybody right now, go to that phone, be the adult. Know that you're giving great, valuable service and knowledge and solving other people's problems in real estate, whether they're buying, selling, or investing, and you too will go to the bank today. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye,
All right,
Claude.
take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Claude.
Bye-bye.
So we're